did it!
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Give us your thumbs.
Yes. Do I need my phone? Do I want my phone? I kind of want my phone. I'm getting my phone.
Hello, everyone. Goodbye.
Yeah. Oh, also just the front lights are on and the door is unlocked, so I should probably fix that as
Oh,
well.
dear. It's okay. We did exactly the same thing as we did last time. It's not like this is the 202nd episode where you thought we'd be used to this by now.
Such episode. Wow. Anyway, hello everyone. Oh, sorry, I've got to Riker maneuver onto my stool because I've got a cushion on it, and I've got to position myself. I need to arrange things down there on the stool. Hello. Yes, JD, it is a Surface Book. It's a very early Is this like a Gen 1 Surface Book?
This is the Surface Book.
Yeah, this is like the first one, isn't it?
Yes, as in it's the Surface Book as opposed to a Surface, or the Surface Go, or the Surface Laptop, or the Surface Laptop Go.
I hate Microsoft branding so much. Yes, would you like to use Outlook, or Outlook parentheses new? Anyway.
Or Outlook parentheses old.
Oh, you did actually unlock it then, yeah. I thought it just randomly started collapsing.
No. It's the actual Surface Book in the sense of it's the detachable tablet keyboard.
Yeah.
There's a GPU in here.
This thing was absolutely bonkers in its day.
Hello, 2015.
Yeah. It's still really cool today. It's just, the internals are obviously kind of old.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Because also the fact of obviously...
Oh, it's reversible. Neat. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then you can use it in tent mode, I guess, and such, yeah.
Well, because that way round, you're holding a large diameter thing, so that's actually reasonably comfortable, and then you can just write with it.
Yeah. But I actually remember when you got this and just being absolutely blown away by how good the webcam was on it and stuff like that. And yeah, literally the only drawback of it now. Okay, yeah, you are ejecting. You seem to be confidently about to use it while it was backwards then. But yeah. The webcam on it is mind blowing, and it's a 4x3 screen, or is it
3x2?
3x2, yeah, and just yeah. At any rate, Caradog has dug out his The Surface because he's put Chrome OS Flex.
Yes.
Chrome OS Flex on it.
Yes.
So yes. How's that gone so far?
So far, so good. The trackpad works, the mouse works.
Can you dismiss the now would be a good time to insert ads thing because it's annoying me? Thank you. So yes. But
yes, the keyboard works, the mouse works. These are good things. The Wi-Fi works.
Yeah. The charger just about works, although it looks kind of like you need a new charger for it. But
maybe.
Yeah.
But yes.
That's the only drawback of this one. This one doesn't have Type-C on it, does it?
No.
Yeah.
Because it's 2015.
Yeah. I think it was like all of the ones after this one had Type-C and could charge over Type-C. But this first Gen 1 was like the only one that can't do that. So when the fancy pants proprietary charger doesn't work, this thing's a bastard to get hold of.
Yeah, and also the issue I noticed when I first got it was the fact of I can't remember what this is. I think it's a 65 watt adapter. And the device can use 64 watts or something kind of thing. So it's it will charge the battery at 1 watt.
Terrible. Stevie H says, I need some advice today. I want to replace my combo pump res with a separate res and pump, but I have no idea what to get. Is it just a pump top, a pump housing, etc? I'm not sure there because all of the most of the stuff that I've seen recently would be some kind of combo. So if you want to get a pump on it, a standalone pump that has an in and an out on it, then I'm not sure if you actually need to get a housing for it where you've got the pump and then something that goes over the impeller that just has an input and an output, as opposed to a distro plate or a reservoir and so on.
Yeah.
I guess you just need to shop by picture there to that extent and just look for something that's got an in and an out on it.
Basically.
But also, though, yeah, like it, as JD says, pump res just kind of works best. Is there a reason why you don't want to have the combo? Oh, you found a really awesome looking res that doesn't have a pump in it. Yeah. 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 I kind of, I hope you're using it with 3600X. No, Si, we don't talk about that one anymore. But yeah. Yeah, I kind of get where Stevie's coming from there, just because, like, especially when you're doing custom water cooling, you are building it to look pimp. So if you found a res that looks super cool, then yeah, I'd understand wanting to find a solution to that. I don't know, I'm afraid, is the answer there. JD's probably going to come in and rain on your parade and say, oh, that's actually shit, mate. But yeah, that's how JD speaks, I'm fairly sure. So
No, he speaks like that one man from that one film.
Diplomatic immunity.
Okay, no, not like that either. Danny Archer.
I see. Hi, everyone in South Africa. Anyway.
All of you who have electricity.
Zing.
How is the load shedding going? I hear the official government message from it was, you should be happy that you have electricity.
I'm going to immediately start on this. So, yeah.
It's gone again.
All of the villains in action movies are either from Russia or South Africa. Look, some of them are British as well, so we understand being the villain.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
have
yeah.
you looked at our history?
Yeah. It's the Barrow Dark T-Virus Helix. That sounds like a Resident Evil enemy. Carol, can you Google that? I want to know what this looks like. Does it look pimp as heck?
If it's the one I think it is, yes, is the answer to that.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. I'll be honest, these things aren't my cup of tea, but they are kind of cool. I'm not super into them these days, but like, I think past me would have thought this looks sick as heck. I would have been like, hell yeah. I like the baby one. That's kind of cool. Yeah. I'd want the tall boy one, but I can see the baby one being cute if you were doing like a micro ATX build or something like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I like those ends that kind of make it look like an actual like canister.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. You know, it looks like it's a capsule holding like nuclear coolant or something like that, you know.
Yeah. Also, just like that, this is the French one.
Reservoir.
Spirally.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was an ultra long one for a second.
Oh, I see, yeah. Yeah. It's a
But
bummer
no,
that
it's
you can't take one of the end caps off of that res and just put a pump on it.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know, does the liquid actually pass through the helix? Or is that, like, how does this work here? Is the helix functioning in any meaningful way? I can't see a world where it would. I wonder if it's
Womp
just a
womp.
spiral, like just a plastic spiral that just looks nice on the inside.
I guess so.
Yeah, because I can't think of any possible function for the actual helix spiral.
Because that's kind of what it looks like. But yes.
Let's see. Time to pour the drink into the keyboard and then put it out. Yeah, this is true. I'm going to start taking this apart in a minute because I've just remembered I've got to take all the keys off to get started. So I should probably start doing that. The helix just sits in the res. It's supposed to be UV reactive though. Yeah. Are you running UV reactive? Because 2003 called and it's still cool. So,
I still have my pictures, he says.
I genuinely... Did I tell you that I found all of
Yes.
my... Yeah, did we talk about that on the,
No.
on the show?
No,
Yeah.
you just happened to randomly be looking for something and went, oh, by the way, I found all my pictures.
Yeah, yeah. A couple of weeks ago now, or might have been before Christmas, whatever. Time is an illusion. I just found an archive folder. I think it was in my Google Drive somewhere. I just found an archive folder that had all of the website files from a very, very, very like dawn of time, my first website of mine, where I had been making all of my PC modding logs, and it had all of the pictures and mod logs of all of the early like 2003 modding that I was doing. And so these pictures are all like 640 by 480, very early digital camera stuff. But it was all stuff like me putting a blue LED in my Logitech MX500 optical mouse, and putting electroluminescent wire through my keyboard as a keyboard backlight, and putting extra fans on the back of my Cooler Master case, and all of that stuff. So it's got all like dawn of time mods on my PC in it. And I was just like, God, I was cool back then. No one was doing this, you know. So yeah, and I thought it was all lost media, but I still have the pictures, and I'm like, that's cool. I'm glad I still have these. So yeah, it was jank as hell, but like, I was in the shed taking hacksaws to my PC. People don't do this anymore, you know. So yes, I just caught that before I dropped it then. I'm going to start. Right, I'll quickly tell the story about the keyboard. There's not much to tell, but then I can start taking it apart. This is my Royal Kludge RK100 keyboard. So this is the one that sits on the bench over there. And the other day, I noticed it wasn't working. It had been working in the morning, and then just suddenly I was just like, oh, I haven't clicked in the box. Nope, it's still window. Nope. Oh, the light on the front isn't on. Okay, plug in what? Nope. The keyboard doesn't work. And I was just like, oh, that's magic smoke. Okay, turn that off, unplug that, and we'll just put that to one side. So yeah, there was a burning smell, and it doesn't work anymore. That's all I know. So I'm going to start taking this apart. I have no idea what has happened to it, what to expect, or if it's fixable. So today we're going to find out. So to get into this keyboard, I've got to take all the keys off, so I'm going to start doing that.
Find a small child who's spilt their drink inside it.
Oh yeah.
And your question is going to be, how the fuck did this small child get near my keyboard?
I didn't spill water on it, said the customer. Like, someone did. It wasn't that there was not a gremlin who broke into your home in the night just to spill water on your laptop and then leave. This thing needs a good clean as well, so if I do fix it, this is a good opportunity.
I also believe chat has broken.
I was going to say, chat seems to have gone quiet. Yeah. Thankfully, I opened up another chat.
You're alive.
Right. UV reactive is like Paisley. It'll always be cool. Yeah. Graham's MySpace. I was never on MySpace, which I'm kind of proud of. I was on GeoCities. Let's see. Backs them up. Yeah. Well, they were always on Google Drive, so they always were backed up. I've just rediscovered them. My Google Drive has a lot of shit in it, basically, just old stuff, which is just like all of this stuff I found, the entire folder and all of its contents and all of the pictures is like 50 megabytes. So that's why I'd never noticed it, because it doesn't take up any space. So I just didn't know it was there. It doesn't appear on any radars when I'm looking for when I'm organizing things. You know, it's just all old stuff that I've just got in an archive folder of. This is completely obsolete and I'm not using any of it, but I don't want to delete it because it's memories, you know. But yeah, I did move all of the pictures into Google Photos though. So the pictures specifically are now in an actual catalogued location.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's okay. The next thing you can do is go through all of your photos in Google Photos, editing the dates.
Oh, yeah, that's not too bad. There's a couple of chunks of photos of mine that were apparently taken in 1976, and I'm like, that's quite a trick for digital photos. Although I guess if you would digitize some old film, then that might have been legit, but yeah. No, my Google Photos are in pretty good condition, actually. Yeah, there's not much there that's broken. Apparently, I've got a slight Optimus Prime echo on my voice. Yeah, that might just be because I'm speaking toward Caradog's microphone.
It's okay. You'll have to.
If I turn around and speak in this direction, does it stop happening?
We'll just have to sit like this, look like we're unhappy with each other.
Everyone tunes in for us every week, believing that we're best buddies. Actually, behind the scenes, we hate each other. I was watching. There's a YouTuber called Jenny Nicholson.
Yes.
Who does video essays, and I was watching one of her videos that says, I think it's titled, "I don't think the Hallmark YouTube channel is okay," and basically she had watched some videos from the Hallmark YouTube channel, and there was supposed to be like home crafting hacks and DIY hacks and stuff like that, but it basically looked like it was just sort of like there was very, very obvious like housewife drama tension in these videos, like where the two co-hosts were clearly hated each other, but but you know, their job was to make these videos, and like there were just now and then that, you know, like they were making videos about like putting some LED lights into used wine bottles and stuff, and the guest host was like was just like, oh, you know, you can use any kind of bottles for this and blah blah blah, and personally, you know, I like tequila quite a lot, haha, so I've got plenty of spare tequila bottles, and the other one, and the other lady who was the main host, I can't remember her exact, but she said words to the effect of, oh, I don't drink tequila, it's got a lot of calories in it, and it's just like, whoa, bloody hell, woman, you know, and just, it would constant, like, super passive-aggressive digs like this, and I was just like, I don't have enough popcorn for this, and I'm just watching an analysis video on it, you know, and just randomly halfway through, like, one of the co-hosts suddenly becomes the new main host, and Jenny's just like, what happened to her? Like, she just disappeared one day. What happened? You know, and just, yeah, complete side tangent, but it was very, very funny.
Taken out behind the bike shed.
Yeah. Oh, but yes. Anyway.
I want to know if that phrase has similar meanings in other countries, because there's implications on that.
Moving swiftly on, yeah. Right, apparently it's better when I turn away, yeah. Turn my gain down like 5% maybe. Yeah. Could do. The problem is we'd have to turn down... I tell you what, actually, I'm just going to turn my mic off and on again, because that might sync them. I had to make sure that I was touching the power button and not the start recording button, because we've made that mistake several times off. Right.
Turn the mics off, much better.
Rude. Okay. Hopefully I'm no longer the voice of Optimus Prime. Failing that, my microphone is directly on my chest, so it might just be resonating quite a lot. Hello Katrina, how's it going? Does audit mode save driver installs? Yes, this is what audit mode is really, really good for. For context, when you do an initial setup on Windows, when you hit the first run wizard called Out of Box Experience, OOBE, when it's like, welcome to Windows, if you press Alt-Shift F3, it will log you in as the built-in administrator account, bypassing UBI completely. And from there, you can install software and drivers, and then when you're done, it has a utility that will take you back to UBI, and you can then just ship the computer like that, and the customer will see out-of-box experience when they turn it on, but all of the drivers and software is pre-installed. Very, very useful. So yes, it does save it all. Oob.
This is my oob.
Right. Ah.
I was going to say, Ubisoft.
You separating plastic from metal before putting anything in the trash? No, I leave that to the e-waste service that I'm using. Or that I claim to be using.
Yes.
Is it time for hot wine? Not today, because I've busted out a cider. So, not perfect, but better than before. Yeah.
Claim to be using, exactly.
Well, look, there are the big white sacks here. I've made a start.
Good.
Man, this keyboard's mega gross. This needed cleaning a long time ago. I can't remember when I overhauled my keyboard at home. I did try lobbing all of the keys into the ultrasonic, but I can't remember if that was actually effective or not.
Oh, that spacebar is definitely two-tone.
Yeah, with the theory being that it would be slightly less hassle to throw them all in the ultrasonic cleaner than to actually sit with a washing up bowl and a toothbrush, you know. But yeah, as I say, I can't remember if it was actually effective or not.
Put them in a sock bag and washing machine them. I think you said microwave twice there.
Is that a thing? Just putting them in a sock and putting them in a washing machine?
Sock bags.
Sock bags?
Yeah.
What the hell is a sock bag?
The bag for your socks when you put them in the washing machine.
I just put them in the washing machine.
Oh, okay.
Wait, someone needs to explain this to me. Why do they need to be in a bag?
So you don't get lost.
Where are you going to lose them? They're in the washing machine.
See, JD knows what I'm on about. It's one of them mesh bags with the little pull tops.
I mean, I guess they could get lost in, like, the bed sheets or something, and you've got to rescue them from there, so I suppose, but, like, I don't consider that a life-threatening situation, you know?
See?
It's a bra bag. Okay, there are definitely mixed opinions on this, yeah. Yeah, about half the chat is with me, and the other half is just like, yeah, of course you have a sock bag. Graham only wears programmer's socks. They're too big to get lost. I wish. Suspicious slurp, yeah. Right, I have dekeyed the keyboard. I'm going to carry on taking it apart. Do you want to put us onto bench cam now? Because now it actually gets kind of interesting. Well, not very interesting, but yeah, it's something.
There's a problem with your bench cam.
There is. You'll need to deactivate and reactivate it because I opened up the, I opened the software in the wrong order. There we go. Hi, camera and face light. Being upside down as well.
It's lost and confused.
Yeah. I'm going to try and straighten the camera while you do everything else. And I'm going to bring that down a bit. Sorry, everyone. Come on. There we go. All right. And then I would unlock and rotate it 180 degrees in OBS. That's one way of doing it. Okay, yeah. Right, and if I do this and this, there we go. Okay, right.
Oh, JD.
Dare I ask? There we go. I see. Okay, so I'm going to carry on taking apart the keyboard. Taking apart the keyboard, yeah. Screws. What switches does this have again? Oh, they're actually RK brand switches. So I don't know. I don't know if they're rebadged, but they actually have RK written on them. So they're browns, but like as in brown
yes.
equivalents. You know,
They're brown. Yes. Expert in news and analysis here.
Sigh. Well, I thought you were about to say, oh, they're tactile mediums or something like that. I'm like, well, yeah, they're browns. They're mimicking Cherry MX browns. I'm just gonna stop talking. Right.
All browns are the same.
Yeah.
Says JD.
Also, I might
mean,
just
basically.
I'm just gonna get a paintbrush and just paintbrush this off because it's pretty grot. I don't think this keyboard
This
is
keyboard's pretty grot, so what I'm going to do is just wipe that all over my floor.
Yeah. Where is
The special edition adamant hoodie that no one can buy.
I can't find the paintbrush.
Not
that I can
because
use for that.
the merch hasn't been released, but because this isn't merch.
It's so exclusive you can't buy it. Okay, I'm going to have to use the tiny paintbrush. Okay.
But you can buy these though. Thanks, Si.
Right, hold on. I have to arrange my
Bits.
cushion again. Ow, my leg. Okay. Whew. Right. Beggars believe. Could someone tell me what a sock bag is and where I can buy one? I need this immediately. Okay, we need to find one on Amazon and get an affiliate link for it immediately. Carrot, I'll get on that. Right, how do I into this keyboard? This deck is going to come up somehow.
See? Amazon understands.
Yeah.
Thousands of them.
4 pieces.
Oh, apparently, the rate is unavailable.
That seems to be the case all the time with these now, but yeah.
There we go. We are prepared.
Ah.
Pow. There we go. Did it. The bit has been bitted.
This feels wrong. I'm going to check under the feet of this keyboard just to make sure there's no secret screws that I'm not seeing.
Secret tunnel.
No, those have clearly never been off. Am I sure? I've taken this apart before, and I'm pretty sure that the deck just flips out at this point. But, like, it feels like something's holding on, man. I know when something's not right and something doesn't feel right about that. Right, that's got to be nothing. That's just a moulding mark under there. Nope.
How do you find fourth wall for merch? Don't know. Have to actually release merch.
It's available. I just haven't announced it. However, so far it seems to be pretty good. The interface is good. The deals were really good. Like, remember when we were originally doing the research on that, and everyone's prices were compared to Fourth Wall, everyone else's prices were just insane.
Yeah.
You know, the only slight issue with Fourth Wall is distribution is just a complete crapshoot.
Yeah.
Like, you'll spec up a T-shirt that says warehouses on every continent, thinking, awesome, this means if someone in Europe orders a T-shirt, it's going to be sourced from Europe, right?
Yeah.
No, it's just luck. It just seems to be luck of the draw where it comes from.
Yeah.
You know, because the couple of people who've made large-ish orders have confirmed that they ordered a bunch of stuff and it just came from all over the place. You know, so yeah, it kind of just seems to be that's my only hang up, but yeah, it is just luck of the draw where stuff gets shipped from. Okay, right. I think I've just got to commit to this. Also, hang on a sec. Unless I've got to take
Have you
out all of the
actually taken-
switches. Yeah, maybe I've got to take out all the switches and then the metal deck comes off and then there are more screws on the keyboard, on the PC, sorry, on the PCB. All right, switches are coming out.
At least this is approximately equal in likelihood of success as the last keyboard video.
Well, yeah, that I don't regret that video. It was I think that was a very interesting experience, and also possibly, I think my failure on my Cooler Master keyboard, I think that was informative in if you're not into keyboards, you probably shouldn't try and lube your own switches, basically. You know, I think that was the takeaway there, is just buy some, you know, if you're doing your own keyboard, just buy some nice switches. Don't try and customize your own unless you're actually getting into keyboards for real, you know.
Yeah.
In which case you probably aren't going to be looking to me for advice.
I didn't see which switch you were doing, and just saw you pull a switch and then a stabilizer appear, and I was like, "What did you do?"
I kind of want to design my own keyboard for a JLC PCB project. Or when I say design my own keyboard, like see if there's some kind of reference design that I can use and customize, and then just make my own keyboard from scratch.
Yeah. JD would buy that PCB. Random custom keyboard PCB.
I haven't put a lot of thought into it, but it would be cool if I could design something where like the chassis was 3D printable. But the issue is like,
how much deck flex? Yes.
Yeah, I don't think that would be escapable, because yeah, you'd need a metal deck in there somewhere to prevent that, wouldn't you?
Probably is the answer to that. Unless
you could somehow use like two PCBs, like an upper like maybe have the actual PCB itself, then instead of this metal deck, use another PCB and just like have them screwed together at multiple points to make something that's stiff, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think it would be a very good keyboard. It would just be kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know?
As JD says, JLC probably does metal fab as well.
Yeah.
So you could probably just get something fabbed there at the same time.
True, yeah.
Just kind of, without going completely wild, I don't know what you'd want.
Yeah.
Out of a keyboard that isn't already just a keyboard.
I think it would just be virtue of the fact that it, you know, just be something that I had made kind of thing, you know. I would just do you know, a pretty straightforward layout. I'm sure there's some reference designs for off-the-shelf microcontrollers that support whatever that custom keyboard software is that everyone uses, and has support for RGB and stuff.
Gotta have RGB.
Hell yeah. RGB isn't a must. It would be nice to have a backlight on it, but then if I'm designing my own keyboard, I think that might be feature creep at that point. Okay, right. What's going on here? I don't think the switches did need to come out. However, with the switches out, there's enough flex that everything is moving. Oh, there's scorch marks there.
There is a splat.
Yeah, there's skid marks. We have confirmed skid marks.
There's several.
Yeah, something's gone nuclear. I'll have a closer look in a sec. Right, so we've got... There's metal fragments in here. We're going to have to... I'm going to stare real close at this in a sec. Okay, so firstly, we've got a USB board there, because on the back of this we've got a USB hub. So there's a USB board there. We've got a 350 milliamp hour battery here. And then finally, there's a little magnet there because that's where the receiver sits when it's not in use.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, I quite like that a lot. I'm just going to dust out the grot. And you can clearly see we have skid marks. So something has exploded.
There's 3 of them.
Yeah. So what the hell happened there? So firstly, I'm going to flip this over, and that was there. So it's around here-ish. So it looks like that may have gone bang.
Was it the RGB? Is this all being caused by RGB?
There's a bodge on that one. Well, I have the backlight turned off on this keyboard because it drains the battery, and because I'm like in the workshop, you can't see the backlight at full brightness. It's too bright in here. The backlight isn't very bright on this, and in a bedroom it'd be fine, but in here it's just a no. How do we have multiple? So I think.
Did something die in there?
I think all of these are all diodes, and I believe these are the N-key rollover diodes, if my understanding of keyboard mechanics is correct. So it's possible that a couple of them went bang. But again, there's considering we've got multiple skid marks on the case, there must be something more noticeable than that. I'm just going to very carefully line things up again. So there and there. So we've got that one there. See, we've got one possible mark there, but then I can't see anything else, but we've got... possibly that one there. I can't see anything that's aligning with the other skid marks. Anything on the cable? Nope. Right. There's Mark left, another bad solder. Okay, hold on a sec. Let me just... can we zoom down a lot, just so I'm not having to hold this up to the camera?
Oh, I thought you were holding up to your face.
A bit of both, but I'm going to put it down here and then just lean down on it, just so we're comfortable. Let's just pull this cable off. There we go.
Top center now.
Right, now everything is level. We can actually point to things. So I need a pointer. I'm just going to get a pointer so we can point at things and see what we're actually looking at.
Up and left.
Right. So, okay. Right. So this is the one I've spotted. There's a skid mark there. That has obviously gone. That something has happened here. So what else have people spotted? So if there's one there, there's got to be one nearby in this general area. But again, I don't see anything.
On the switch to the right of that, what is that brown part of the contact just below the screwdriver tip?
So this is the...
Just because you've got brown on the end of that metal contact and the other ones don't look brown.
That's just the light,
Okay.
basically. Yeah, that's just the light. Yeah. We too close, apparently. So yeah, back out a little bit.
I see. Those are very small little bits.
Yeah. However, bearing in mind that the skid marks are in this area. So, like, it's not over here, you know.
What is that thing?
So, yeah, there are a couple of budges on this keyboard. You know, there's a couple of there's some hand solders here, and there's some hand solders here. And I think this might just be just factory budges for regional keyboards. Although this is a US keyboard, so it's kind of weird that the US one has some hand budges on. Maybe it's just QA. Maybe there were defects off of the production line and someone has just manually touched it up to get it through QA. That would be my guess as to why there's some budges on here. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of budges on here, if I'm honest. Like, I've counted 3 keys now that have some hand solders on them. But that doesn't really matter. I mean, unless... Like, this guy hasn't even exploded. Like, if it had exploded, maybe it went bang and bounced around in the keyboard as it was on fire for a half a second. But if that was the case, I'd expect this thing to have literally exploded. So there's a weird lack of damage, considering what we're seeing on the case. Once again, I'm going to line it all up. So the one that I'm seeing is... So the one that we know of is there. So that's the one we know of. So the next one is to the upper left of that key. So possibly that guy. And then the other one is in the other direction and should be up here somewhere. I think something has just bounced around in there. The other possibility is there were some loose metal fragments in here. The other thing that I'm wondering is if there was just some metal fragments that had worked their way into the keyboard. Because, like, this sits on the workbench, so there's metal fragments on the workbench. Like, you know, where I'm chopping things off and stuff like that. So maybe some metal fragments have worked their way into the keyboard and just shorted out across some power lines. And that's why they've gone everywhere. So, yeah. Check the base of the USB board. Yeah, we'll have a quick look at that. Other than that, yeah, I think it might just be that one diode. So I should probably just, you know, have a look at that and take some measurements. Oh. Yeah. There's your problem. Yeah. That's where the magic smoke came from. Ding, ding, ding. Mike, you have won £100. So
Don't say stuff like that. It means you have to do paperwork.
Yeah, true. You won a prize, but you can't claim it for 1,000 years. All right, so, and that vertically lines up with this. So this is a flame mark.
Yeah,
that has ejected violently out the side. That's gone there. And it may, there's kind of trails there. So again, this might just be, it's gone across the keyboard.
Maybe.
So yeah, either way, yeah, no prizes. That's clearly the issue. Might just be a very angry capacitor there. So with that being the case, there might be nothing going on with that diode at all. And again, that's just skid marks. I'm just going to pull the camera back out now because we're flickering horribly. Nope, oh, there we go. Yeah, it has managed again. So yeah, it had a rocket engine in there. Yeah, literally that. It's just literally just gone nuclear. So another dead cap it is again. Yeah, basically. Yeah, that'll do it. So that is C19, unless I'm mistaken. It says U1 nearby, but that's the chip there. U1 will be the chip. That guy is C19. So yeah, looks like just a power cap. And that's a power capacitor for the USB port, but I don't actually use these USB ports. So it's kind of wild that guy just decided to give up because it doesn't do anything. Cool. So, well, that being the case, well, for thoroughness, we can take off, these caps are all going to be identical. So for thoroughness, I could just take off 2 of them, measure one of them and see if I can find a replacement. I'm inclined just to rip that off and send it because, like I say, I don't even use these USB ports. So I might just rip that off and not bother replacing it. I think we've solved the issue, though. Yeah. Very well. Okay. God, that's left a proper indentation. So, yeah, that really has spat metal out everywhere. All right, cool. Am I going to bother grabbing a microscope? Yeah, we may as well. I'm going to get the microscope.
Take it to the microscope?
Can do. I was going to say, we've got the old microscope over there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, it doesn't have a light on it and stuff. Yeah, no, I'll take it over to the main bench. Yeah. Okay. Right, I'm going to the main bench then. So.
Goodbye.
We need this. This outputs into
the
capture card. Yep. HDMI out, HDMI in. That goes into that. Did I shut this down? No, I didn't. Good.
Now I close all the things.
Yes. Right. Customer data is closed. Good. Right. I'll open that up.
Can't short if there's nothing too short.
Yes. Yes. I'm always careful about this just because I'm very critical of people who don't replace capacitors and the whole no capacitor equals no problem sentiment. I think that's very poor practice, which is why I'm hesitating. However, there are instances where it's just like, it's fine, it doesn't matter. And in this case, it's my keyboard, so it's not a customer device, and I'm not using the USB port, so I don't even care. So, yeah.
Would that capacitor be necessary for charging?
No. So let's, hang on a sec, let me get it. We'll go under the microscope super quick. So let's see, I need live gamer, window projector, and if I go, where is it? It's over there. Nope, it's not. There we go. Right, you should have the thing. Yes, good. Right. Ooh. You're an angry so-and-so, aren't you? God, look at that. There's a proper hole in the side. Good grief. You could fly the Starship Enterprise through that. No wonder that was spitting pieces all across the inside of the keyboard. That's proper gone nuclear, hasn't it? And like, this is just a 5-volt capacitor, although obviously it is getting its power from a well, no, yeah. That's kind of wild that something was able to supply enough power to that. But yeah, okay. Very well.
That's why you call it a through-hole cap.
Yeah. Zing.
Very good, bold.
All right, so let's do a little bit of poking around here.
Oh no, it's got the MCU in it.
The entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay, right. So we've got a 5 volt. We've got a 5 volt rail here that goes through to some vias, which come up here. So this is our 5 volt rail. That goes to switch 1. Now, so switch 1. This is the keyboard on/off switch. Now that's interesting because this keyboard works wired while this switch is off. This is for wireless mode, was my understanding.
So does it just turn the power off from the battery? Because obviously it'd be powered over the USB.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because it's just like, well, yeah, if you've got it plugged in via USB, you don't want... But then you've got to charge the battery as well. I'm trying to think what the actual power design of this thing is. Like, what are we trying to achieve here? Like, we don't actually need to... The important thing is, here is one of the USB ports. This is one of the hub USB ports, and the blown up cap is on the 5 volt line of that USB port. This is bypassing for that USB port, so if you plug an external hard drive into this that suddenly pulls an amp to spin up that drive, it doesn't immediately pull down that 5 volt rail. That's what this capacitor is here for. This capacitor is here to soak up a massive power surge when something is plugged into this port. That's why it exists. And if we look over to the other USB port, you can see that one also has a big 5 volt cap for it as well. Although actually...
Apparently it's 100...
Yeah. 100 mic?
100 UF. I can't remember what U is.
U is micro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6.3 volt.
100 microfarad, 6.3 volts or something, I'd imagine, because I think that's the nearest denomination.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get that off the board.
100 microfarads.
100 microfarads. Okay, I'm going to get that off the board first. Tweezers.
Oh, yes. Apparently it's an SMD tantalum capacitor J107A.
Tantalum, more like tantrum. Oh! And it smells, man. These things smell horrible when you put heat on them. I probably should have wet the joints on these. Oh, it's going. It's fine.
Going.
I'm trying not to melt the switch while I'm here. There we go.
Going.
All right. The angriest of boys. Can we get a big old close-up on that?
Focus. No. Oh, is the focus only automatic?
It is manual, but the manual is extremely slow. Yeah, that's hollow. I've never seen anything like that. That's crazy. Bonkers. All right, I'm done.
Some people think I'm crazy. I just think I'm free.
I'm just making random British exclamations now. It's gazeboed.
Well,
right.
It's okay. You just need to clean up the skid mark.
Alcohol. Wait. Oh, it's still too hot. Yeah, it's still too hot.
I must clean this up. Oh,
Slorp.
It's been degramed.
Will that actually come clean?
That's
I don't think so.
That's not coming off.
No, like that stained the solder mask. So like it probably will clean up a bit more, but I don't think there's any value to that. But the main thing is that there's no pieces left over, and all of the circuit board is all intact. There's no damage around here that we need to deal with. So yeah, cool. All right, so all right, first test then. I'm going to come back over there. I'll bring my cider as well. So oh, I'm going to tuck my noodly bits in because they're tapping on the microphone. All right, hold on. I've got to Riker maneuver my heckin' chair again.
May he embrace you with his noodly appendage.
All right. I'm going to plug all of this in and just put a couple of switches in here, and we should just be able to confirm that theoretically the keyboard should now work because we've solved the problem. So, so yeah. Okay. So I'll put that back in. Damn it.
Noodly bit, you mean your arms.
May be touched by his noodly appendage.
I see you're a pastafarian too.
Yeah, old school. Okay, right. How did that go on? That went on like that, I think. That seem right? That doesn't seem right. I think that went the other way around. I don't think it matters, but... yeah, that seems far more believable. Okay. I'm kind of glad that we found that that we found a massive, big old capacitor there, because I was, you know, like, it's always nice when you're doing a live repair and you find something like really cool like that, and you're like, oh, look at that, you know, and you can all just Wojak it, you know.
The hell is Wojak?
You will have seen it, you just don't know it by name. Wojak is, have you seen the meme of the two guys pointing at something where they're sort of going, oh, you know?
Maybe.
Okay. I will not try and explain it any further. Right.
Wojak pointing.
Yes. Oh my god, this battery connector won't go on. There we go. Oh yes, soy jacks, yeah. But yes, I think this meme is funny. But yes. It's that, but we're pointing at a capacitor. We're just like, oh, you know.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Very well.
I'm hip, I'm cool, I'm down with it.
I mean, that's a reasonably modern meme. It was only 2020.
Really?
It's only 5 years ago.
Damn. All right. I'll just put a couple of keys in at random, I guess. Let's have a Windows key, an escape key. And
If I put a control key in, I can get some control in my life.
oh, and whatever this one is.
Why?
Why? Well, I've got to test some of the keys. Okay, but seriously. These are the jokes, people. This is what you're here for. Right, power on. I was like, are we on bench cam? I'm not sure. Right. Okay, good. The Wi-Fi light is flashing, so it lives. So...
excellent. This is my Wi-Fi connected keyboard.
oh, yeah, Wi-Fi. Wait, it's 2.4 gigahertz. Just shut up.
I type via internet protocol.
Look.
It has infinite range as long as I'm connected to Wi-Fi.
Actually, it uses the helium network.
Each key press costs me 1.1
And
Coins.
the keyboard is working. The start menu is coming up and going down on the thing. So yeah, the keyboard now works. So cool. All right. Good. So I guess.
That's a terrible.
I guess we should test USB functionality as well.
To make sure it charges.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it should work, but basically to make sure that nothing else explodes. So yeah. So what I'll do is I'm going to unplug the USB cable from the capture card for a sec. Because it's Type C. Oh. How much do you charge yourself for this repair? It's £1 million. Good question. Right, plug that in. Bang. And it is now charging. We have a charge light. Cool. Yep, so that seems to work. And I guess theoretically, I should be able to plug a flash drive. So I can't remember which one it is we've disconnected, so good luck, everyone. Oh, the ports are upside down. I don't think that's in all the way because it's a recessed port. This is what I don't bother with.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, okay, that works. Cool. And the other one? Yeah, okay, both the USB ports are working. So if I plugged in a high draw device, then there might be a problem. I'm sure we could engineer a situation where that capacitor being missing is causing an issue. If you got an oscilloscope and studied the voltage rail, at the point when you plug something in, you probably see the 5-volt rail go, because there's no capacitor there. So, yeah, we can talk about that. But functionally, the keyboard works. I might just have a quick look at. I might just quickly dig out a MacBook board and see if we've got any 100 mic 6.3 volt caps on it that I can steal, just because while we don't need to replace that, but it'd be nice to do that and come full circle and practice what I preach. So yeah. Yeah, I would not be plugging external hard drives into my keyboard. I don't think that's a good idea. Like, USB hubs on keyboards like this, personally, I think the only things these are good for is, I think these are really useful for plugging your mouse into, maybe, or like, especially if you have if you've got a wired keyboard and a wireless mouse, you could plug your wireless mouse receiver into here, that kind of thing. I guess you can plug in flash drives like I just did, but I don't know. I just don't use these.
Yeah.
Because yeah. Also, like these aren't USB 3 either, so that also completely that makes them only useful for very situational things. Headphones, I suppose, yeah.
You could plug in both of your Insta360 links.
Technically, yeah. So yeah, I love extra latency. Yeah, that's not a bad point, Jerry. Yeah.
Another keyboard, so you can type like this.
Yeah, dual wield. Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Teltac moment. Yeah. Here's you with your plebeian split keyboard. I just have 2 keyboards. I can hit any key from any hand at any time. Like when I have to type in tomorrow, I'm going like that. That's how fast I'm typing. I don't have to tap, release, tap again to get that double M, Anyway. Right, let's turn that off again. I should just be able to pull all of that straight back out. Yeah. I kind of wanted to try and put an absurdly large battery in this at one point, just to possibly make the backlight usable on battery power, but I don't think that's worth the hassle. The other thing I want to do is, whoa, whoops, I think I am going to disconnect that. The other thing I want to do as well is where is the wireless on this thing? So this is just our USB hub. That's all this is. It's a USB hub. So the Wi-Fi is in the controller. This thing has the crappiest range ever. The wireless on this keyboard is garbage. And while I'm here, I'm kind of thinking, what would it take to improve? There's the antenna. You can see that little squiggle there. I don't think that's something I can do today. Part of me is kind of interested in, see, the little antenna connector is called an IPEX connector, IPEX, and they're not actually that difficult to solder. I've always been terrified of them, but I've discovered recently that they're actually quite simple, and it's sort of got me to thinking, probably wouldn't be too hard just to solder an IPEX connector on that and have a little pigtail antenna. So yeah.
2 SMC males.
Terrible, yeah.
So you can just screw in Wi-Fi antennas out the back of your keyboard.
Pull an antenna wire from an old laptop, yeah. Yeah, let's see. What happened to the keyboard? It stopped working, and we've just removed a very exploded capacitor from the USB hub board. Right, I'm going to try and find a capacitor for this first, and then maybe we'll come back to that. And yeah, Marcel just said get an antenna wire from an old laptop. I could probably find a busted Wi-Fi, busted laptop Wi-Fi card. I've got a couple of them kicking around on the bench behind me, I think. So that's actually not an absurd idea. So yeah, pick on Discord. Oh, what, of the exploded capacitor? Yeah. So yes. Also, I'm aware that tomorrow doesn't have 2 M's in it. I made an initial mistake and then I just committed to the bit. Remember that with radio it's a black art. You can't just hang a wire on and hope it works. You need to properly match the length. Yes, you are correct, L Armour, but you can actually get away with a surprising amount. And I'll talk more about this in a minute. Let's see if we can do something about this capacitor. Then I'll explain some theory there. You are correct, it is black magic, and I am not qualified to explain it. However, I have seen some really dirty stuff on some of the microcontrollers I use for Slime VR trackers that have made me realize, oh, okay, yeah, like when you get it wrong, it annihilates the reception, but you can do some dirty hacks that will make it better than awful, basically. And just like putting a whacking great wire on it, even when it's not tuned very well, it's still a big antenna, even if it's not tuned particularly well. So yeah, you can do some stuff. It sure as hell ain't going to make it worse. So yeah. Okay, right. I'm going to quickly have a look at... I'm just going to quickly pull up the schematics for a random logic board. What is this?
I thought you were going to say you're just going to use the handy dandy search feature of Paul L. Daniels'
Yes,
software.
but I'm going to start with boards that I have to hand first, instead of using the search feature and then going, do I have that board, kind of thing. So, right, 8203437B. One memento. Actually, can we do... Yeah, I'm trying to think if we can make this visible. Let me plug the capture back in, because we're done with cable testing. So, right, then, because the problem is I need mirroring at this point, otherwise I can't see what I'm doing. Display settings 3. Can I say? Right. Duplicate one. Oh, cool. I've never actually tried doing this. If you have 3 displays, mirroring 2 of them while the third one is an extension. And yes, you can do that.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. I want to mirror 1 to 3. So duplicate on 1 and 3. Keep changes. All right. All right. Do you have... You probably need to deactivate, reactivate the capture. Huzzah. Cool. All right. Let's see. So I'm going to look... we're going to try and find a capacitor. So the board I've got in my hand is an 820343B. So I'm going to see if that has what we need on it. 3435... 3437 I need. There it is. One of those. Whoop. Okay, so we need 100 mics. So I'll search for 100U. There you go. 100 microfarads, 6.3 polytantalum. Let's get a really old one from an ancient-ass motherboard. That's sure to do well.
Not how I read that, but it's polytaint.
Carrot on, please. This is a classy show for classy people.
They're turning up later.
Right, so this is C3287. If I right-click on that, it automatically highlights it on the board view because Flex Board View is super cool. So there it is. There's our donor capacitor. So let's find that. Looks like that is behind the SSD connect. Not SSD, that's the Wi-Fi connector. So if I now need window projector. I now need this. Whoop. There we go. Look at it. It's beautiful. I'm going to scrub that before I take it off the board. And I'm going to try and I'm going to see if I can soldering iron hero this, or at least just I'm going to touch up the joints first so I can use as little heat as possible so as not to upset it. Although they don't instantly explode. What's going on in chat? Anything interesting?
No.
Okay. I tried.
It's just you.
I'm probably about to hit and run those things above it, but I don't super care.
Now there's things in chat because they're insulted at being called boring.
That's how you get engagement.
$400 comments telling you how you spelt something wrong in the video. Engagement obtained!
You fool. You absolute rubes.
You've fallen for the classic tactic. Did it.
Cool. I wonder if this thing is actually toast or not.
The capture of the microscope does seem to randomly go to about 7 FPS.
Yeah, it sometimes just depends. It's on auto exposure, so it kind of wanders around at the moment. I have not spent a lot of time tuning this microscope just because as long as I can see clearly, I'm not super bothered about the frame rate. I should try and do something about it because I probably could. I'm just going to quickly check what condition this thing is in. Which way round is this at the moment? Positive is on the right. I'll turn it around.
Turn around.
And that's reading at 113 microfarads. So yeah, that guy's in tip-top shape. This doesn't tell us what the ESR on it or anything like that, but if it was reading like 50 microfarads, then we can be like, okay, that guy's cooked.
Yes.
Not that it matters for our application, but you know, let's treat this like a serious repair because that's kind of the point. Whoop. So like I'll actually go to the trouble of touching up these pads properly as well in that case. I've got a board holder over there that I could get and stop this board from constantly moving every time I touch it, but who does that? Okay.
Am I going to take the 265K home for benching? Probably not.
What happened to my cotton swabs? There they are.
Although I will consider it. I would also need to actually get a G-Skill memory kit. Because I think I have to use a G-Skill one. I think them's the rules.
I'm attacking the skid mark again. Right. It is delightfully squeaky. I don't know if it's coming through the mic, but yeah, I cleaned up a bit more. All right. Oh.
What?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there either. I'm pretty sure I fed some solder into that and just nothing happened. Okay. Positive on the left, yep. And I'm going to turn it around, make the board work for me.
Why does this board keep moving?
If only I had some kind of board holder for holding the board.
Not a single stick of G-Skill 24GB.
Oh my god.
Yes. Professional.
Absolutely. You know what? That's good enough for America. Okay. Right, I do not... okay. Oh my god. Okay, right, I'll fix it. It doesn't matter, but I'll fix it.
It would be quite funny if after all of this, you plug in the power again, and then it explodes again.
Yeah, like it did in that one heckin' video recently. There we go. There's still a slight gap under it, but you can see the actual legs go underneath it there. So, like, it is actually flat on the board. It's just the plastic casing stands up slightly. Still. Good enough.
It is connected.
That's
the main thing.
It is. Right, flashbang. All right. Cool. We replaced a capacitor.
Ah, is this what they mean by an air gap for security?
Zing. Right, okay. I'll put that back in the board and we're done with that. Pray for ignition. Do-do-do.
Do you like my top?
Do you like my top?
So you can get one that's similar but legally distinct from.
You can buy the Adamant IT hoodie in black though. It's available in black, right?
Yeah, but it's not the same one.
True. Yeah, this one is the rare prototype. But cool, right. Am I gonna? Yeah, I mean, we've got loads of time. So yeah, I am going to... okay, so... let's have a quick look at this under the microscope. Back over here we go. This is kind of why I wanted to get the other microscope for the bench, so I wasn't just walking off screen, but it's just easier. Because there's a whole setup over here specifically for this job.
It's almost like...
All right, so
there's a little dot on it.
Yeah, okay, so...
Goodbye, Si.
The CSI. So this is our wireless...
CSI.
This is our wireless chip. Beken, Beacon. I don't know that brand, but it's, yeah, some kind of wireless controller. So there's our wireless chip. This does Bluetooth and 2.4 gigahertz. And here is the antenna. So the antenna is coming off of this pin here, and it goes through an inductor and a decoupling capacitor, and there's another decoupling capacitor there, and there's the option for one here. And you can crunch the numbers. You can crunch the numbers on this capacitor inductor sequence to determine the impedance of this antenna, which would be, say, 50 ohms or something like that. There's an equation to calculate it. I don't know off the top of my head, but you can crunch the numbers to calculate the impedance of the antenna. It's probably like 50 ohms or something like that. So theoretically, any antenna that we connect also needs to have a 50 ohm impedance to be quote unquote correct. However, a lot of Chinese designs are really fast and loose with antenna design, and will do many, many crimes. So as an example, where is it? As an example, I've got two controllers here. So if we move you aside, this board here, this is an NRF 52840 microcontroller board. This is used in some of the newer Slime VR board designs. This is a very, very low power wireless microcontroller board that is used. I don't know the standard this thing, well, NRF is the standard. It's a proprietary very low power wireless protocol. And if we have a look at its antenna design, here's its antenna. It's got this little ceramic boy on it. Here's the antenna trace coming off of the chip going across here. And again, we've got capacitor and inductor setups going across here to set up the impedance. This one is set up correctly. Now, as an example of a bad case scenario, this here, this is an ESP32C3, as said on the chip. And this one, this has the IPEX connector on it, which is where I got the idea for this from. And this one, when you're not using the IPEX connector, if you try and use the ceramic antenna, this ceramic antenna is not configured correctly. And if you look, there's the trace coming off of the chip going across the antenna. And look, there's nothing there. There's just a capacitor. There's no supporting components. They're gone. They're not there. So this thing is not set up correctly, and this antenna basically does absolutely nothing. And as such, this board actually has garbage reception. However, this particular version of it has an IPEX connector, which you engage by putting a solder blob across here, which is what I've done. And then you can plug an antenna in here. The setup is still bad, but because you can plug in a big ass antenna, that makes it actually usable, and it does fix the problem. It's still very inefficient, but it does actually work because you put a massive wire on it, basically. So that's why my theory of just sticking an IPEX connector on this keyboard may well improve it, because it's already terrible, which probably means the antenna setup on it is bad. In fact, the antenna setup is probably bad because it's got a whacking great metal sheet over the top of it. So yeah, that's probably part of the issue. So yeah. So my theory is if I stick an IPEX connector from a old Wi-Fi card on there, I can probably put a little pigtail antenna on there and massively improve its efficacy. So say I. I'm going to try and do that.
Excellent.
So yes. Good. IPEX, UFI, same connector, different manufacturer. Fair enough. Cool. Yeah, IPEX is just the key term that I've seen on AliExpress listings. So I don't know what the correct answer is. That's just what I've seen it referred to as. So yes. Okay. So, right.
Here's one I butchered earlier.
Maybe, yeah. I've got a couple of wireless cards over here, but I don't know which ones are dead. I know some of these are dead, I just don't know which ones. Right, that's an Intel one. I'm fairly sure that's dead. That's also Intel. And this one is... who knows? That one probably works. I think these Intel ones are both dead because I know I've replaced these most recently in another laptop. So I'm going to try and steal one of the IPEX. Firstly, I'm going to make sure that it's the right connector.
And by the power of movie magic.
Let's see. Somewhere here I have a little pigtail antenna. This is the point where I would pause the video. This will do. I've got a brand new ESP32 here with pigtail antenna. I don't want to butcher one of these though, just because I've only got a couple of these, and they're like £2.50 a shot. So I don't really want to butcher any of these if I can help it. I will if I have to, but I would prefer not to. Right, is that the correct one? Are these the same? No, they're not. It's a different size. Okay, right, that kind of torpedoes that. I'm going to butcher one of these. Okay. Yeah, all right.
Why wouldn't you just use one out of a laptop?
Just a laptop antenna. I guess I could.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Because a laptop antenna is designed for 2.4 gigahertz.
Well, so are these. These ESPs are 2.4 gigahertz.
Yeah, but a laptop
NRF
antenna is designed for 2.4 gigahertz, so it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
And you've taken a Wi-Fi card out of a laptop.
Here is...
So it should be the correct connector.
Here's an old Dell top case with some Wi-Fi antennas in it. So... are you correct? Yes. Cool. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Does that have writing on the back of the connector? Oh, yeah. IPX.
Possibly?
Huh.
Yeah, I think that's IPX.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And this one is IPEX, so maybe that's differences in sizes or something like that?
IP extra X.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. All right. So I think we're getting somewhere. So I'm going to start by ripping these antennas out.
Oh, no, you just stood here. Never mind.
Yes, I'm trying not to just stand off camera for the entire show, basically.
No, I thought you were about to do it under the bench cam.
No,
which is why I
right,
swapped to the bench cam.
Yeah. There's not really any technique to what I'm doing. I'm just ripping the thing out of the thing.
The thing!
Bang. All right. This would probably be good as well because it's a big antenna. Because I could probably actually route this to... I might be able to get that out of the case so it actually sits on the back or something like that. So, which would be cool. So, yeah. I'm making this up as I go. Right, we've got an antenna. So, now let's see if I can steal this. So I'm going to bring my hot air down to 300 degrees, And I'm going to put the small nozzle on. The small nozzle is already on. And low airflow as well. This is a small board, so it shouldn't need much.
Pow.
And I'm going to keep the hot air moving, and that will also help not melt the plastic.
Change connector from either from Wi-Fi to red. I don't know what that means.
What's the question?
Change connector either from Wi-Fi to red.
Nope. Elaborate, please.
Nope.
Yeah.
Inside the plastic housing is fine. Yeah, maybe. It's just because the metal plate goes on top of the keyboard.
I mean, to be honest, by virtue of the fact that we're putting an enormous antenna on it, that's why I think this is going to work.
Yeah.
Not because it's actually tuned properly or anything like that. It's just because we put a giant antenna on it. Like I say, even if it's not tuned properly, that's still going to improve things. In instances like this, anyway.
Yeah. How's the battery? Looks absolutely fine. Yeah, it's not puffy.
Yeah, the battery gets exercised. I do use it wirelessly most of the time, so I can move it around. So the battery does get exercised. This is taking ages. I might turn up the temperature. Theoretically, if I'm patient, it should go. Or I could be really fancy and get the hot plate out.
Yes.
Is that as in yes, do that, or?
Yes. Both.
Sure.
There was also the chat suggestion.
Oh, cool. Yeah, all right, I'm getting the hot plate out.
Rubber ducky, you are one.
All right. The hot plate is tall, so we're going to come in mega close now.
Closelier. Is it cold? Not massively.
It's not. It was a bit less cold today.
Yeah.
I've still got the heater on in here.
I was also just damp when I turned up.
Yeah.
Right. So I've been stood out in the rain.
I might need a couple of attempts to plug this guy in. Oh, first try. Good. All right.
How do I power cable?
Yeah, this Miniware mini hot plate is a bit squicky, and sometimes it just doesn't negotiate 20 volts over the Type-C connector. It just negotiates 5 volts, and then of course when it tries to cut in the heating element, the 5 volts, it just goes, no, and just cuts out. And sometimes you have to unplug and replug it a couple of times before it will actually work.
Yeah, this third little Miniware 25 something.
Yeah, MHP 30.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. It's not very good, if I'm honest. It's just too small, in my opinion. There are just better solutions out there these days. But I don't need a hot plate badly enough to invest in any of them. I'm kind of tempted to buy one of the Amazon special ones. Like for about 50 quid, you can get a fairly large hot plate on AliExpress now for about 50 quid. That is nice. But also they have a metal surface where this one's got a Teflon surface on it. So like this one is like it you can just wipe it clean, you know, nothing. Whereas with the metal ones, all of your flux burns on the top of it and just makes a mess, and just, yeah, they're not necessarily as great as they seem. All right, we're at 185 degrees and rising. So we're coming up to 200, so in a minute we should probably be getting into a position where it'll start reflowing. Why is the temperature going down?
Here, wind chill is only minus 25 Celsius right now.
Ugh.
Only minus 25. Good God.
Getting there, but not quite. Let's go to M2. Oh, I think M1 was set to 180 degrees. That's why it leveled out there. It actually overshot the temperature target, which is why it started going down. Should be going to 200 now. This thing does have a reasonable amount of metal in it, so it probably wants a little bit more. The cool thing about hot plates is that everything happens at pretty low temperature.
It's funny, because of the temperature coming from the hot plate, it obviously makes the image start wobbling.
Yeah, there's a little bit of wobble just where I'm leaning in, but now and then I see the heat wave rising, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the entire image just bends slightly.
Yeah, you can see it there.
Yeah. Oh boy, it was minus 40 wind chill overnight earlier this week. No thanks.
Terrible.
Oh god.
Oh, it's close. Like the solder is malleable. Okay, let's go hotter. I've damaged this one slightly. I'm gonna carry on mauling this one until it moves, and then I'm gonna take that one off very easily. I'm just gonna use this one so I can actually gauge when it's ready to go, and then I can be gentle.
Is the solder moving? Oh yeah.
I don't want to grab this by the plastic. Can I get that just by the metal bit?
Just pull it off the PCB.
There we go. That's what I want. All right.
Did it.
I'll just put that down there and turn off the hot plate. If I can remember how, I'll just unplug the hot plate. That's a quick way to turn it off.
I was going to say, why wouldn't you just unplug it?
Okay, right. Now I've got to solder this thing onto the keyboard somewhere. Okay, right.
So, what's it actually need to connect to?
Good question, well presented. Right, I'm going to quickly use this as a reference. So, if I put my multimeter into continuity mode, we can just quickly buzz out the connections on this.
Is the dot in the ring connected?
So the outer ring is ground, if my understanding is correct. So if we use this as a ground reference, so we go there to there. Yeah, that's ground, and then that's the actual antenna in the middle. So those are connected. So that's our antenna input, and these big bits on the outside are also ground. So the big tabs are anchors, and those are not connected. So I don't know what that one is there. However, we've got an antenna input and two ground tabs and something else. Is that ground as well? Yeah. Yeah, so that's the outer ring, which is ground. These are anchors, which are grounded. And that's the inner pin, which is the antenna itself. So if we bring in the keyboard now, I'm just going to confirm that that silver bit, is that actually a test point? Yes, it is. That is actually metal. I couldn't figure out if that was silkscreen or actually metal. So let's bring our connector in. So we want to put this somewhere. Let's figure out the pin out on this.
Should you...
So, let's see. I need to stick this down on something, I think, in order to figure out which one is which, because it's moving around, so I can't probe it. What about that? Ah. Oh, well, in a surprise to no one, those are... yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh, that answers that question. There you go. You can see on the bottom there. Okay, cool. So let's carefully flip you over. All right. There's a split. The outer ring has a split there. That is our input. So that needs to go there. And then I could probably scrape off that ground point and solder blob that. And so let's start by doing that. So I'm going to stick a solder blob on our test point and put that on. This is going to be a real rough job for the record. This ain't going to be a pro mod here.
So what's underneath the blue area, effectively to the right of L2 and below C20?
This bit here.
Yeah.
So that's just circuit board. That's just
Okay.
let's see. I can't remember what the material is. It's not fiberglass. But
so could you use something underneath?
I could just glue it down.
And
yes.
glue it down.
Yes, yeah, I could. So like, I could just put a tiny spot of super glue and just super glue it down.
Yeah.
But I'm probably just going to use the solder joints to hold it in place, to be honest. So yeah. Right, I want to turn this around so I can get my right hand in. So I'm going to turn it all over. I think this is going fairly well so far. We're about to find out.
Without having actually done it, I think it's going very well.
Shush.
Very well.
Very well. Okay. Oh no. Oh. I should be using a smaller soldering iron tip. Okay. Whew. It's on. It's on.
Connector on the left-hand side of the antenna trace. Oh, yeah.
Now I will get a knife.
That's not a knife.
That's a craft scalpel. It's a legally distinct X-Acto knife. So this is all ground plane, so I'll just scrape away here and make a new solder pad. Get out of here, C20.
When trace repairing today, I channeled Graham's lesson of quitting whilst ahead several times and intensely. I see you've played Knifey Spoony before then.
Finished is good enough, folks. Finished is good enough. As much as I say, you know, best practice and stuff like that, also, oh my God, I'm switching to a smaller hecking soldering iron tip. I don't know why I'm doing this. All right, hold on I've got to wait for the soldering iron to cool down for a sec so I can actually pull the tip off of it.
Yes, please don't grab it whilst it's heating.
I'll blow on it. That'll work.
Whilst it's heating.
All right.
Did you talk to Secure?
No. Next question. All right, that's better.
Did you talk to a standing desk company?
No. Next question. All right, here we go. This might have been a mistake because now I'm trying to solder to a ground plane with a tiny tip. Right, let's get some flux in there. Sploosh. Sploosh. There we go, there.
Sploosh, sploosh. Oh no!
Right, okay. Right, can I get, let's turn it around. Oh, catching a falling knife. Where is it? There it
Falling
is.
knives have no handles.
Right, can I get that blob across there? I don't think I'm going to get away with that. Okay, let's come in with a little bit of solder. Come in with the small stuff. I don't know if I'm going to actually get these to bridge properly. Oh, that's terrible.
What? Why?
Because the antenna connector needs to go over the top of this ring. And I've just put solder all across the ring.
It's just direct connection for enhanced speed.
Not if the connector won't go on it. Okay, right. Let's check that on the side. It's hard to tell, actually.
Nothing worse than solder across your ring.
Heyo. Let me just see if something will plug into that. Where did I put my antenna? Whoop, thank you. I think I've got solder on there and I'll need to make good, but let's just see if that actually works. It's not going on, but it doesn't feel like that bit at the top is the problem. No, it must be. Yeah, you can see I'm making a slight indentation in the solder, trying to push the connector down.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's carry on trying to fix that. Try and pull some solder off of that. Okay, we're coming in with a little bit of wick. This is what I hate, is when you've done this and now you're trying to make good on something and it's kind of ugly. Come on, you bastard. When things won't blob when you want them to blob. Okay, I guess what I could do, let's see if... I'm going to gently clean that up a sec. And we could go for a different strategy here. And if I put a little bit of... super glue under that just to stick it to the board, then I can just run a jumper wire to a ground point. I don't even know if the ground is even needed, if I'm honest. I was mainly trying to make this join as an anchor to hold it in place, because if I made that solder blob I would be pretty confident that I wouldn't need to glue it down.
Yeah. Oh yeah, run a trench of solder. Basically scrape out some of the PCB and run it and like push it along that.
Interesting. Okay, that's something. Where did the knife go? It fell on the floor. Oh! Right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is what they meant, but I'm just trying to dig out a slight gully just so the solder can actually fill that space a little bit.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. At least on kind of the physical point of view, it'll just give somewhere for it to sit.
Yeah.
As you fight surface tension. Yeah. It's basically a case of just trying to increase the wireless range from 1 to 1.5 feet to
Pretty much.
3 to 4 feet.
Yeah. I'm not expecting it to work across the room here. No! Right, what if...
Yeah, that's just not going, is it?
Yeah. I'm wondering if I can just abuse this a little bit. It's such a small amount of solder that I might just be able to just nudge that down a little bit with the knife. I'm doing crimes here, you know, but we like I said, I made no promise that this was going to be a professional mod.
Yeah.
That might be enough though.
Yeah.
I think it's good enough. Yeah. Yeah, that is on. I'm going to tear it off if I'm not careful. Okay, right. I actually need to very carefully remove this now without pulling it off the board.
Why?
There we go. Well, I still want to put a little bit of super glue under that because otherwise it's just going to drop off if the wire gets tensioned. So, right, I'm just going to dry the alcohol.
Get out of here.
It'll do. And I'm going to put a tiny little bit of super glue underneath that to stick it down.
I thought that was the sound of the bottle falling over.
No.
And you just accidentally supergluing your entire desk.
Right, what if I... now, if I grab the knife and just gently flex that, hopefully the glue might get sucked under. Oh, I don't know. There's no way... That's going to hold it. As long as I haven't just completely flood-filled the connector anyway. Now we put the cap back on the glue before we forget. Right, how do you make crazy glue dry faster? Can you hot air it? Is that a thing? I'm blowing some warm air at it. It looks like it's doing something. Yeah. Oh, it's making the flux underneath it bubble out. That's probably a good thing. This is a work of art, you know. Okay.
It's certainly something. Beer. Basically, the reason why it was selected to go there was just because the antenna point is right there to actually connect the antenna side of it.
Yeah, why? Were people thinking putting it at the end of the existing antenna or something like that?
Well, no, just moving it up by like 1 millimeter so it was just sat on the ground plane.
Oh, yeah. That's really obvious now, and I didn't think of that. I'd have done that if I'd thought of it. Yeah, now I was just thinking, I'll put it on this existing test point, but I could have just put it on the back of the capacitor or something like that. And yes, yeah, now people have pointed that out. That's really obvious, and I wish I'd done that. However, this is what I've done now. Right, while I give that some time to dry, I'm going to put all of the switches back on.
It'll work. TM.
CA breaks down under high temperature and smells really bad. Yeah, I just wafted some air from a distance. I accelerated it. I didn't like blast it with hot air though. I have smelt CA when you hit it with a soldering iron. So yes, I that was not what I got just then. Yeah, if you hit CA with a soldering iron and the fumes from that go in your eyes, that hurts. Just so you know.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Didn't blink enough, yeah. Should have worn glasses.
Oh!
Tactical crying. Where actually is that? Is it in a delicate spot? No, I can actually put this on the desk. So what are you drinking? I've got some basic cider, which I'm going to go and get again. Ooh.
Sorry, I'll let you stuff that in.
Oh, thanks. I have staff to get me my cider now.
Invalid.
Yeah, I'm not far off it. Alcohol takes away the pain.
Have rubbing alcohol for outside boo-boos.
Yeah. Yes, I have Woodgate Cloudy Apple Cider, made in Devon. It's nice. It's just a nice, sweetish cider. I think that's one of the little ones, isn't it? Or Aldi, whichever. Same thing. And Caradog has...
The Honey's Apple Black. Real cider and blackcurrant.
That one was really good. I think I've had one of those.
I was going to say, you'll have to test the wireless before actually screwing it into the case.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to... It's really hard to tell. Time will tell if it's actually worked properly, because the wireless is kind of weird. It's just like, it misses every 1 in 20 keystrokes and things like that. It's very annoying. It's not just it works or it doesn't work. It's a very sort of poor signal intermittent fault that just annoys me.
I tried the rubbing alcohol once, and I wasn't sure if it was the rubbing or the alcohol that made me go blind.
However, we could probably plug this in, and if I walk across to the other side of the shop and it's working from over there, we can probably be reasonably assured that we've done something with it. We should have tried doing a before and after, actually. We should have actually done we should have actually plugged it in, powered it on, and walked across the shop to see if we could find out what range it has. Because if we've made the range obnoxiously long, then we can probably be fairly assured that that the overall experience will be improved.
There are still 4 sets of Stofords.
Yeah, well, I was working through the Stofords on Friday night. However, I've sort of on Fridays I've actually been drinking. I've actually been enjoying rum and Coke again. I've really been enjoying Captain Morgan's and Pepsi, to be precise.
Whereas before, I've not been enjoying it. I've just been drinking it.
Well, I was trying different things. I wanted to get back into mixers, but I tried vodka and Coke, which I've liked in the past, and just was not jiving with it. I think it was just because I was buying really crap vodka, but whatever. Either way, Captain Morgan's and Coke is really nice. So yes. However, also today, the reason why I didn't get one of the Stofords out for today was just purely because we had a couple of cans on this on the shelf, and I was like, may as well use some of that up just to reduce the shelf clutter.
Yeah.
I should have wiped this down before I started putting keys in, but nah. I'm just trying to decide what I'm going to do about these keys, because I don't really want to put all of them on before cleaning them. But I don't think we can't exactly do a key cleaning stream
again. Try a baby Guinness. Yeah, Bailey's and Tia Marie.
I haven't tried Guinness for a very long time, but the one time I did try it, I didn't much care for it.
Captain Morgan's with lager. What? What? Thanks for the clarification, Matt. JD and Coke used to be my tipple back in the day. JD as in Jack and Daniels, not JD in chat.
Whoops, I just mashed the pins on that one. Oh no, oh feck. That one's brown bread. Just snapped the pin off of that one while trying to straighten it.
Luckily, you have a crate.
I do.
Of MX Browns.
Yeah, I'll pick a irrelevant key to put a terrible, heavily worn out MX Brown into.
Just put it on escape.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. The escape is probably the key that you care about the action on the least. Also, it's an even place to put it, you know. It's not just randomly in the middle of the keyboard somewhere.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah.
God, this is a terrible system, this. It does work, but trying to put these in fast means that it's very easy to bend the pins.
Ching.
I wonder if I could have done a hot swap conversion on my Cooler Master. I don't know why I didn't think of doing that. Because functionally all the hot swap is just these little bits on the bottom. They're just little sockets. Because I don't think there's anyone who actually seriously, routinely swaps out the switches on their keyboard. But it does just mean that if you're doing maintenance or something, you can mess with the keyboard without having to desolder it.
Twice.
Yeah.
3 times.
Oh, that's bending.
Malibu and cream soda. Yeah, that's solid. Depends if you like coconut. Are you up for coconut drinks?
I like coconut, yeah. I don't think I've really tried coconut drinks all that much. Like, if I've had Malibu at any point, I can't remember what it tasted like and if I liked it.
I can't remember having Malibu, so if I've had it, I had sufficient to black it out.
What is Malibu? Is that a rum as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, coconut rum.
Oh, my days. Come on.
There were 110 switches.
This is the worst part about doing keyboard stuff, especially when you're doing it live. Right. I think the answer to the keycaps cleaning issue might just be that I just don't put the keycaps on. Oh, what the hell happened to you? You just got mangled at some point. Yeah, I might just not put the keycaps on stream so I can just give them a quick wash once we finish up. Don't snap, don't snap. Don't snap.
Oh, don't do it.
Okay, I think that'll go in.
Getting there.
This is the part where I put my left hand directly onto that antenna connector and rip it off because I'm not paying attention.
You're like, oh, well, I guess I'll improve it by soldering in the place that everyone suggested.
True, yeah. True, yeah, that's pretty true. There we go. Right, let's take the escape key off. Put that down there. And down here somewhere.
I used to do JD with ice and a splash of water. Okay, JD. Where are my switches?
Right. These are the terrible ones that I tried to lube and it didn't go very well. So I'll just put on one of the old ones. These are worn, but they're perfectly functional switches, so. There we go. Odd one out. Good. All right. How's my antenna looking? Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I'm sure if I gave it a proper nudge, I could rip it off the board, but you could say that about a lot of components. So, right, let's just make sure that the actual antenna will go onto it. Is there anything else over here I need? No. And I should just be able to reassemble. So the question now is just going to be the antenna routing. Right. Oh, that felt pretty horrible. Let's try that again. Oh, I think there's glue around it. Might need to dive under the microscope with the scalpel again. Yeah. Balls. All right. BRB. Ow. Oh, my leg is getting painful. Time for drugs in a minute. Right.
Time for marching powder.
No. Right. Let's try and have a look at it first.
Oh yeah, you can see glue on the inside.
Oh, it has gone a little bit on the inside, hasn't it? Yeah. This is the problem with using crazy glue, is it just goes, no matter how careful you are, it just goes everywhere. However, I think a little bit of just scraping around the outside, we can just clear that up. I think we'll be okay.
It's like picking lint out of a connector.
Mm.
Thanks, Discord, for notifying me that we're live. Oh yeah. Looks like the pin is no longer centered.
Oh, it's okay.
It will become.
Yeah, I have made a bit of a pig's ear of this. Worst case scenario, I could just grab another Wi-Fi card and just get another connector and just do this again.
And just put it actually on the ground plane.
Yeah. Like, I could just start again with the knowledge that I've accrued. However, also though, this might have been enough, so just make sure that that looks okay. Yeah, that guy's fine. These things are so small that there's just, yeah. When they're perfect, you do get a feedback click, but when you're trying to do something like this, like there's going to be little to no feedback. It's just a case of, is it coming off or not?
Put a bit of tape over the top.
Maybe. Right, I'm just going to put it upright so I can give it a good press down and just press fit it. I think that's fine, to be honest. It's not a work of art, but I think that's good enough. I'm going to go with that. Let's see if we can make this work. If I can't make this work, then I'll take it off and start again. Okay, right. So... It was slightly more comfortable, but it's just causing a nuisance now. It was more comfortable, however, it's just causing a nuisance. Okay, right. That went on with a slight click that time, so I think when I pressed it down, I did actually just push things into place.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, now here's the question. So we can... That's going to go around the back. Am I just going to cram this underneath? Am I going to try and get that out somewhere? And I don't think that's necessary. Oh no, that's just fallen off again. I think if I put that on and then put some tape on the wire so the tension on the wire isn't pulling on the connector.
Yeah.
I think that would do it.
Will it blend?
Okay, let's just try and cram all of this in, I think. I'm just going to stick that to the bottom of the casing somewhere. That can go there. Right, where's the... that goes there. Okay, right. I'm just going to go full send on this. I'm just going to hook up the wires and just try and cram it in. Battery. This battery connector was a pain in the ass. I did it. All right. USB. Remember when we were doing the capacitor and everything was going well?
And you decided to do something.
Yeah. I should have quit while I was ahead. Okay, there we go. That guy's being a pig. So, yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen there. Right, so let's get that into there. Put it up right. And now I can turn it around so the cable is where it wants to be. What's the stream timer at?
2 hours 14? No, 2 hours 23.
Okay.
My maths was wrong.
It's in. That USB cable isn't sitting right. Let me just see if I can do something about that. That actually has a channel it has to go into.
Yes, the moulding on the back does seem oddly restrictive.
There we go. Okay. Right. The wireless receiver is still in the back. So, firstly, if I turn it on.
The lights still come on.
Yeah. And the keyboard works. So, now I guess I'll walk across to the other side of the shop and see if it works.
Okay.
And like, if it works from across the other end of the shop, then I think that would be a pretty good indicator that it has decentish range. Like I said, the only way we're going to know for sure is just for me to live with it for a week and just see if it's improved.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, here we go. So if I come all the way over here and stand next to the front door. No. Not working from back here. Okay, if I come around to here.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, it's not confident. Now I've just come back into the workshop. Okay, that seems pretty consistent from here now. So I'm at what? What's that? 10 meters?
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, never mind. More like 6 meters. All right, 6 meters. I don't know.
Which part of this is 10 meters?
6 meters then. I didn't see you making a better guess. All right. Made it slightly worse, better. I'd say that's extremely inconclusive. Yeah, like it didn't change my world, so that may have done absolutely nothing. However, to put things in perspective, from the usual setup, I'm struggling to get 1 meter range reliably.
Yeah.
Like I have the receiver in the monitor, and so the monitor is here, and the keyboard is here, and it's missing keystrokes now and then.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, we're kind of trying to do that. Check the keyboard cable is still attached. Yeah, you know what? I'll take a quick peek. Off. I'll take a quick peek. I don't think I'm going to take it apart and do it again at this point. If the cable has fallen off, then I'll do it again. If the cable is still on, send it.
Sure.
So yeah.
I mean, it still functions. That's the main thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God, come on. It's still on. Yeah, it did not pop off. So yeah. Nope, I'm putting the screws in. We're going to send it.
It has been proved.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think if folks ask me next week how I got on with it, I'll let you know. Also, battery level seems to have an impact on it as well. When it starts missing keystrokes, that's usually the point where I plug it in to charge. But it feels like there's no way of knowing how much charge the battery has in it. There's just simply, I don't know if there's a low battery light on it or not actually, if it actually gives you any kind of warning. But it feels like it starts missing keystrokes now and then when I do not believe that the battery could be flat. I've missed one screw hole. Unless there was a third one on the USB board. There it is. Cool. All right. Done.
Ta-da!
I am
going to stick him in the delicates bag in the washing machine.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll just clean these later. I'm not going to bother putting them on now because then I've got to take them all off again. So yeah, I think I'm going to call that done. Cool.
Done.
Yeah. Beans. Cool. All right. Well, yeah. Well, great success with the capacitor fix on that. That was cool. Really interesting case of a very exploded capacitor there.
Yes.
The antenna mod, I don't know with that. I wish I'd thought of doing the before test.
Yes.
Because if we'd done a before test and find that it worked from like there or something, then having it work from over there would have been fairly conclusive that we'd made some kind of improvement. But at this point, yeah, who knows? So yeah, who knows? Did the antenna work? Unknown, Dave. Yeah. It was not the world-changing range that I was hoping for, but also because we didn't do the before test, there really is just no way of knowing. So yeah, to be confirmed.
Where is it? Where is it? I want to. There we go.
I see. I don't know what Dracarys is.
But yes.
And there's Soy Jack posting as well. Very good.
I wanted to show you that. That was all.
Very good. Probably 1 meter improve. Well, 1 meter improvement is all I need. So if it has improved by 1 meter,
if it has been improved from 0 meters to 1 meter.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't need it to work across the room. I needed it to work across the desk. So yeah, I could do that again. And if I was on my own time, I probably would. But I'm just like, I can't be asked to do that right now, quite frankly. So yeah. Good. Right. There was a threat of looking at the Denon amplifier as well, but I think it's a bit late to start on that. Have we got any news to talk about?
Not really.
Yeah. Now do the dongle wireless. Huh?
Now attach an antenna to the dongle.
Oh, I see. Oh my God. No. No. Is Graham getting grey on the right? Yeah, yes-ish. I've got my, it is just the light, but I've got a little grey patch that's coming in around there-ish, which happened to my father before me. However, also...
And his father before him.
Yeah, and there's some grey flecks in my beard as well. But also, like, I'm 38, I'll be 39 this year, so I think my hair is doing pretty good, quite frankly, so I'll take it. 32 gig RX 9070. How much is it going to have 32 gigs on it?
There may be a 32 gigabyte edition.
Damn. Yeah. Oh God, the cope is real, man. Also, just because we were talking on the Discord the other day about graphics cards, and NVIDIA graphics cards are pretty hecking inflated right now, and I'm just like, what if the 9070 is better than a 4080? Let's be real for a moment. Is that too much to dream? Could the RX 9070 be a 4080? Would it be worth selling my 4080 to buy a 9070? You're thinking about it.
Yeah, because based purely on the performance targets that AMD had for the card, AMD's apparently internal performance targets was to be 3% faster than a 4080. And sure, that's
Okay.
3%,
Yeah.
but that's still 3% faster.
Yeah. However, that also gives me 3% faster and double the VRAM.
No, the same VRAM, because it'd be 16. Because it'd be
That would be
16
on a
gigs.
16 gig edition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Katrina, can I buy your 4080? I mean, maybe, but also like if I buy my 4080, I'm gonna try and fleece someone on eBay for it. Like I will be looking for the maximum money that I can get for it. I'm not looking to sell it for mates rates, if you see what I mean. But yeah, we'll see. The other problem as well is AMD made very clear statements that there will not be a 32 gig version. Yeah, maybe a 24 gig version then.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't imagine that they'd sell a 16 gig high-end card, but no one's quite sure what the 9070 is supposed to be. I don't know, because this is the other thing as well I'm also conscious of the fact that I do actually care about Blender performance, and we know that the AMD's probably not going to be that strong in Blender.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting into Blender. So that's the other thing why I'm just like, I might keep the 4080 because it's going to be good in Blender and such.
Yeah, basically.
And yeah, as well as just transcoding as well. Although, actually, it might be that it's quite possible that handbrake performance will be pretty good on the 9070, just because wasn't there that a headline recently about AMD doing well in FFmpeg?
Oh,
They'd done something.
I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah. So yeah, because that's one of my other workflows that is NVIDIA dependent. Is I'm a very heavy handbrake user, and NVIDIA has way better handbrake optimization, so that actually makes quite a big impact on me. 9070 XT will be like 4080 Super / 5070 Ti. Yeah. See, that's the problem, because like I kind of want it to have a nice shiny new current gen card from AMD, because
Oh yeah. It was FFmpeg.
yeah.
But yes, it was. Yeah.
But by the same token, there's no point in me doing a side grade to AMD.
Yeah, it depends on the pricing as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, but like if they're releasing a card that's going to give the 4080 a bloody nose, like I can't. Someone said it's going to be. Yeah, Katrina said if it's as good as a 4080, it'll be sold out and scalped, kind of thing. Like if it's actually that good, then it's not going to cost £400. You know.
No, but even if it costs 600, that's still 400 less than the MSRP, and 1,000 less than the actual sale price.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Tough. I don't know.
Yeah.
I might just have to wait and see. Yeah, like I think making the decision in advance isn't going to be useful anyway, because one way or the other, I'd have to buy the card and then sell my 4080. So, you know, I can just wait and see. And, you know, hey ho, if it ends up being scalped and isn't available anyway, then bleh, yeah. Wait for October. What happens in October?
Yeah.
Might be an AMD card and still have the usual quirks. So I borrowed Caradog's 9700 XTX last year and had 0 issues. Even though I have complicated workflows. You know, I'm a heavy handbrake user. I use obscure plugins for an ancient version of Vegas, and I'm a VR user. You know, I have a lot of like stuff that is additional complexity in my workflow. I plugged in Caradog's 7900 XTX and had zero issues with anything. Everything just worked. AMD quirks are a myth. Change my mind. And like, I can find some people that would say that NVIDIA has their quirks. You know, I've got a friend in VR who's just like, oh, I bought a 4070 and had nothing but trouble with it, you know. So yeah, I just don't think it, you know, it's not that I don't believe that people ever have problems with AMD, but like some people have problems with NVIDIA as well. I just don't think there's useful data to draw from it, you know.
Yeah, certainly post Vega.
Yeah, price drops from usually disappointed reviews. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Sale and stocked. Yeah, I remember you having issues with the 69 and 6950, Katrina. Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, that's it. I don't know. Yeah, that's the problem. Is we can only speak from our own experiences, because while you had a lot of trouble when I test drove one, I had zero trouble. So, yeah, it's really tough to draw conclusions there. But like, I would like to get off of the NVIDIA train, just because I don't like NVIDIA as a company right now. And while, you know, obviously no corporations are your friends, but I would certainly like AMD to come out swinging, and I would like to buy their product to support it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if we actually get anything from Intel that's faster than the B580.
Yeah, really just said battle mage ? And just yeah, because yeah, I quite like Intel's products. However, like I'm looking at the high end, you know. Yeah. I'm looking at what I would refer to as a flagship, because I classify the 90 series as a Halo tier.
Yeah.
The 90 series is just the Titan. You know, that's not a flagship, that's a Halo. So yeah, I'm looking at the high end to that it respects. So Intel isn't part of that conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'd like a 9070 or a 9070 XT, but you're making a stand against GPUs over 400 quid. I mean, that's going to limit your options quite a lot, you know. Don't get me wrong, there are some good GPUs for less than £400. But yeah, it depends what you're doing, you know, because yeah, like I'm trying not to sound like a snob about it, but because I have a 4080 already, I am used to running everything cranked, and I'm used to running VR cranked at 150% resolution, you know, and not blinking, which is a reasonably tall order.
There's no point in buying something newer that's worse than what you already have.
That's it. I'm not interested in a downgrade in performance. That much being said, I understand what you're saying about making a stand against overpriced graphics cards, but also, that's just kind of where we are right now. Because while we can certainly make commentary on NVIDIA's prices being fake and NVIDIA inflating the cost of graphics cards by some means or another, however, also just wafer prices have gone up. GPU dies are bigger and cost more to make. Some of the price increases and inflation has gone up. A lot of the price increases are just the state of the world, not just because the manufacturers are greedy. You know, it's obviously a complex situation, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's a seller's market. It sure is. I think most people can probably quite happily get by on lower end graphics cards, but yeah, if you have the money to spend, like you know, this is the thing. It's like that old story of being on the ladder. Because I have a high value graphics card at the moment, I can play this market.
Yeah.
If I dropped my 4080 tomorrow, then no, I would probably not be looking to spend 700 or 800 quid on a graphics card. I don't have that money on tap. So that would change my mind. However, because I have a high-value graphics card on hand that I can sell in order to afford another high-value graphics card, I get to play that market.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, don't know. We're kind of stuck waiting on AMD to play their cards, I guess, aren't we?
Yeah, apparently we'll learn a little bit more soon. So I think there was some mention of an AMD event on the 20th.
20th of February?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So we might learn some more then.
Yeah, hopefully, at the very least, they'll be giving us a release date so we know when things are going to start happening.
Yeah, in theory.
You would have that money if you replied to your sponsor emails. No, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
You'd have that money if you did some paperwork.
Yeah. Yeah, that much being said, there might be some easy ones. I spotted an email from, what was the other one? There was an email from some PR company that was representing two brands that I recognised. I can't remember what the first one was, but the other one was Incogni. And I'm just like, Incogni, yeah, that I'd probably shill Incogni. That seems like a good idea, I think. I've not read the reviews about them.
I don't know how I feel about them.
Elaborate. Or is that just a lack of information?
Based on no evidence, okay, this is not based on evidence, this is not based on rumour, hearsay or anything like that. Simply a case of a situation that I could see existing.
Yeah.
I go to Incogni and go, here's my data. Get this data removed from credit brokers.
Okay.
Credit brokers go to Incogni and say, we will pay you double the annual subscription of this user per data broker to continue using this data, but to also serve you a fake deletion completion certificate.
Okay. That would be fraud.
Would it though?
Surely.
Because if they delete the data, then buy it from another broker the next day, they have deleted the data and reacquired it, and now just continue using it. That's what I'm saying. It's a case of, I'm not saying that that's happening.
Yeah, you have no evidence, but that
is even possible. But it's just kind of a case of, at the same time, it's like, well, these data brokers are already selling your data.
Yeah.
So why do they care about morality or?
Yeah, there's nothing stopping them. There's no evidence of them doing this, but also that's a thing that they could quite easily be doing. So yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's just kind of a case of, so it's just like, I don't know. Also, obviously this is arguably the wrong way around, but it's also kind of a case of, it feels like using a company to fix the problem that legislation should have fixed by not making it legal to sell this data.
True, yeah.
So it's, you know, which is also the other thing.
Yeah. Yeah. TFT reckons those services are a scam for how I see it. Even if you get everything gone from where it shouldn't be, the company itself still has data about you. Yes, we have to assume that we trust them not to sell it because, again, like, well, would that be fraud? Like, you know...
No, because if the terms and service say we'll sell your data,
yeah,
the terms and service say we'll sell your data.
True, yeah. I would assume that if the terms and services say that we'll sell your data, someone would have picked up on that by now. But then, you know, honey, as other people were saying, there's a lot of stuff where this is kind of the problem. You know, if we take them at face value and assume they're honest, then it seems like a good enough product.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could just be the next meltdown waiting to happen. So yeah.
And like as a concept, no, it absolutely makes sense because that's the point of brokers. You know, in various forms, is to provide expertise and services that you don't have the knowledge or expertise to instigate, or don't have the time because you're doing your day job and that's not your day job.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other brand that was in the inbox as well. It was Surfshark, so another VPN. But yeah.
I still think if the ad read that you're allowed to do for that is allowed to be sufficiently open in the sense of it allows you to location shift, there's nothing offensive about that.
Yes.
And basically you can say, this can be part of your suite of tools for when you're traveling because it helps your location shift back to your home country, view content from different countries,
Yeah, I think
etc.
I think that's the way to sell them these days, because the thing is, I don't use a VPN, so I find it difficult to do a sales pitch for it. However, yeah, the location shifting, that's the primary appeal, is to get around geo-blocking if
Yeah.
you're trying to access stuff that is regional blocked, like TV shows and stuff like that. That's a very legitimate use for them, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah.
Everyone in the UK will need to shift location soon. I mean, maybe. Yeah, this is the hoo-ha about the UK government turning around to Apple saying, we want you to backdoor iCloud. I don't think Apple can do it. I don't see how Apple can possibly comply. Like,
Yeah.
they cannot comply with the current system. They'd have to redesign iCloud.
Yeah, probably. I mean, you assume so.
Yeah.
Assuming, again, that what Apple says at face value is true.
Oh, what if we assume they don't already have a backdoor?
If we assume that they don't already have just all of the data anyway.
Yeah.
Because what
I guess that'd
evidence
be-
do we have that they don't?
Well, this is true. If they do, then God knows what it would take to get them to delete it. Because remember that Apple went toe-to-toe with the FBI over this.
Yeah.
You know, Apple have, say what you want, but Apple have thus far been pretty good about not selling their users up the river, even when their users are demonstrably terrible people. You know, they have certainly stuck to their guns on this, you know.
But it's all, yeah, sure, absolutely. But it's
Yeah.
also the case
Like,
of,
Mike is also saying, like there isn't a backdoor they don't want to admit. Well, the FBI said we have a convicted murderer, person who has done murder, and we need to get into their phone. There is no, no one is fighting for this guy's corner. People do not care for this guy's privacy because he's a bad person and deserves to get hit across the head with the full extent of the law. And Apple were like, no, we do not provide access. So like, if it, what else are they holding on to that card for? I don't know.
selling another million iPhones.
I guess, but even still, if you're going to tell the FBI no in a murder case, why would you give the UK government access to everyone's data and completely obliterate all good faith in your company?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Why would you make a stand in that instance and then completely crumble to this one? Why, out of all the hills to die on, this ain't it, Chief, So yeah.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So, yeah. But that much being said, though, yeah, certainly, I don't know. The UK government has been barking up this tree for a decade. The Snoopers Charter has been rumbling around for so long now that should have given this kind of access, but it didn't work as intended because you can't comply when you don't have the key.
Yeah.
So
and I think that's ultimately the point of so much of this stuff, though. That you basically just have to ensure that it's not possible to comply.
yeah.
Yeah. No. It's also the fact of like for whole chunks of quote unquote adult content. Serving it to people who are in the UK requires you now to check a valid ID. So an ID that has the tick on, or so a passport, driving license,
Yeah.
immigration card, and as far as I recall, keep a copy of it for X number of years.
Yeah.
So random porn sites now have to keep a copy of your driving license.
Yeah. Yeah. So that kind of brings us round full circle that just, suddenly a VPN seems like a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Everything sucks.
Yeah.
Identity theft is going to be crazy. Yeah, because this is implying that all the porn sites are trustworthy. You know, like, let's not kid ourselves here. You know, there are plenty of them that will be like, hell yeah, now we are legally obligated to collect your data.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And then obviously to ransom people for it.
Yeah. Yeah. So hell, maybe I do that Surfshark sponsorship. Hey.
Do you want to watch porn at work? Wait, never mind.
Well, that's it. You know, like let's roll with this for a sec. Let's say I replied to that email and said, you know, what are you paying? Blah blah blah, and they agreed to a very decent rate. That I'm just like, you know what, I will for that. You know, my sales.
So a packet of M&Ms.
And my sales pitch is dodging regional blocks for streaming content, and
regional blocks.
Yeah, like would I do that? Would I be like, and you know what, the UK government is making a lot of noises at the moment about wanting to know what you're up to on the internet, and I don't know about you, but I don't really want the UK government to know what I get up to on the internet.
Yeah.
You know, would I actually go for that? Because that's quite an honest pitch, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know. And, you know, with the way things are going, suddenly I might be like, actually, you know what? Yeah, I might start using a VPN myself.
Yeah. You have to, the problem is, though, to make it in any way viable, you'd need so many layers, and most people would have to completely change how they use the internet.
How so? Because, like, that's the point of a VPN, right? To appear like you're in another country.
Right. But you appear like you're in another country. You go to a website, you type in your username with your email address, your password, your credit card, and so on. Your data's still there.
Sure, but if the website only has to comply for UK users, and you're not a UK user because you're appearing in Bulgaria or whatever.
I was wondering where you're going to go for with that.
Yeah.
You're appearing as though you're in France. Now you can only look at the classy material.
Yeah, the absolute middle of nowhere of Paris, you know.
Hello, yes, I am John French.
Yeah, Monte Carlo, yeah.
Yeah.
Surfshark scripts and talking points are ridiculous. Some of the key points that an ad has to mention, like it protects from viruses and malware. Yeah, like if I were doing a pitch on a VP...
I can see how that can work, though, because it's in the same way as... oh, God, who runs 1.1.1.1? Cloudflare.
Yeah.
It's in the same way that Cloudflare help protect against viruses and malware, because they're scraping billions and billions of hot links to those things and just block it at the DNS level, so you can't download the file.
It's not false to say that it can help protect from viruses, but the way that it's pitched by the VPN companies makes it sound like McAfee and AVG and so on and so forth, and we all know what good those are, you know. So, which bit are you like? Oh, just
Trev.
I see. Anyway, so yeah. However, like one of my mandates, if I were to do like Surfshark or something like that, is I would just say to them, just like, yeah, I'm going to use my own sales pitch on this, you know, and they would probably agree to that. Like, you know, I let Nord fall through the cracks because I'm not. It's hard. It's hard to get practiced at this. I don't know. It feels I need practice at making adverts and sponsor spots. I need to practice it. But yeah. Also, Nord was difficult because Nord gives the YouTuber total freedom on their talking points. They're just like, here's a bunch of material. Use whatever you want from there. And it was actually difficult because I actually had too much choice. It actually would have been easier if they'd had some sample scripts that I could have copied and just reworded a couple of bits to my own kind of phrases, you know. But yeah, with Surfshark, you know, if they had some sample scripts, I would probably just rewrite those a little bit, skip past the AV bollocks because, yeah, hackers aren't targeting you personally, you know. This is more of a matter of just, avoiding geo-blocks, etc., etc. As we've been talking about, I think that would be the way to sell it.
If you were inserting your own merch, you get practiced at it.
I would.
But also don't insert merch. It's not body safe plastic.
Yeah, I will consider that this weekend. I'm the merch video because I'm hoping to have some productivity on video editing this weekend. Last week sucked for getting videos done because the video that just came out, which was it was the no post, wasn't it? Yeah, the no boot rather. That video that just came out, that was a miserable editing experience because where I recently upgraded to Windows 11, I was reinstalling all of my apps. I was like, you know what? I'm going to have another try at Vegas 18. And it was awful, and it was crashing every 10 minutes. So that video editing was a miserable experience, and I just didn't get much done that weekend because I was like, I would rather be doing anything else than watching Vegas 18 crash for the 10th time today. So, however, I've got Vegas 14 installed and set up again, so I can just do it on Vegas 14. So, yeah. Hopefully this weekend I will get back to going.
I was going to say, based on what you were saying about the NordVPN thing, I still think using the complete garbage, I can't remember if it was Copilot generated VPN pictures I sent you should have been the thing.
No, I will not use anything AI related. Just
but
on
you should
principle.
have done, because you look at it and it would have made you so angry you'd have written something better. All I'm doing is motivating you.
Every time someone sends me something that's AI generated, I'm just like, this is trash, and I don't care, and I'm immediately discarding your opinion. For April Fools, though, maybe. The problem is, even the whole, YouTubers have really gotten their money's worth out of the whole, I had AI write my script for me formula. So, you can't even do that anymore because that's just completely overplayed. When do you start the DaVinci Resolve trial? Oh, yeah, that's going to require a bit more energy. I do very much want to do that, and I did.
Just have to find the emails where they're giving you money.
It's not that. It's not enough.
And then you can not only get money for it, but stop using Vegas.
I don't want to. Don't have the energy. I'm tired and depressed. I stick to what I know.
Add extra hands in. Say that right.
Also, you could teach me. Yeah, I've not forgotten that, Katrina. I've not forgotten that I was going to have a go at DaVinci and just Discord stream it in the for the exclusive room or something like that, just so we can have a look together. I have not forgotten that.
I would even send booze. I mean, that sounds pretty good. For every video you edit, you're allowed one Malibu and Coke.
Right.
You too could be exclusive if you subscribe on Patreon.
It has been 3 hours. I think I've enjoyed this conversation in English. And
English.
I've enjoyed this conversation in Grok. Have you seen the latest thing now with... okay, so on Twitter now,
What is this? Twitter. I've burnt it from my memory.
On X, artists are posting artwork, and Twitter now puts a button underneath it that says, remix this with Grok. And there is literally a one-click plagiarism button. And it's also now bad enough that Twitter will... X will falsely flag original art as AI generated. So it's just like, yeah, the last couple of artist holdouts that haven't left X because they've got a large following there and they need that money to live are now like, it's actually got to the point where, yeah, they're now just looking at it being like, I don't think I can stay any longer. It's no longer a matter of principle. It is just terrible and awful. So yeah.
And don't forget that tomorrow has 2 M's.
Indeed. All right. I've enjoyed this conversation in English.
Very well. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming.
Yes. We'll be back next week with something else, possibly an amplifier. So yes.
Thanks
Thanks for coming by.
Goodbye. Live streaming isn't available right now.
Oh no!
Finish.
Verify that it's you. Google.
Okay.
Can we go now? You're still here. It's over. Go home. Go on, go.